Today we're lucky to visit the Dufferin Paramedic Station here in Orangeville. You guys have a few stations in Dufferin County, I think. And we've done this for a number of years, but this is a little different this year. So thank you for joining us and bearing with us as we get used to our new world of programming. This is our first in-person program in a long time. So it's great to see faces, even with the masks. So these are new safety protocols. We're very happy to be here. I don't know if you guys have heard about our TD Summer Reading Program. I hope you've been reading all summer long. Can you guys all hear me here? Perfect. It is our last week of TD Summer Reading. So if you haven't already signed up, please get some information from us. You can input your books that you've been reading all summer for a chance to win great prizes. Because we will draw the prizes next Friday. And Alyson might talk a bit more about that. Today we're going to introduce you to Paramedic Crystal and Paramedic Mike, who are going to talk about what they do as paramedics in emergency services. After that, we're going to hand it over to summer student Alyson to read a few stories. How does that sound? Pretty good? Awesome. So I will hand it over to Crystal and Mike to talk more about being a paramedic.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming out. Can everybody hear me okay with my mask on? Okay. All right. So we've got like quite a wide variety of ages here. So when we're done, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them, and some of it might be for some of the younger ones, and some of the questions might be for some of the older people here. So basically, you're here at the ambulance station, and out of the ambulance station, do you know what the name of the people who work on the ambulance are called? Does anyone know? Oh, they got a call. Or they were being nice and showing you some lights. Do you guys know what we're called? Does anyone know? Paramedics, that's right. So paramedics do work on the ambulance, but we are healthcare providers. We've been to school to become paramedics. And after we finished our schooling, we were able to get a job where we were able to help people in emergencies. So that's a big part of what we do. So can you guys think of anyone else? It's called an allied resource. So anyone else that we would maybe work with regularly? I'll give you a hint. Sometimes we work with nurses. We see them at the hospital. Can you think of anyone else that we maybe would come across? Yeah? Oh. Firefighters, we do work with firefighters. Yeah. We work with police, right. So fire and police are also emergency workers, and we do respond to calls with them very regularly. So typically what we do every day when we have our shifts, we start nice and early in the morning if we're working at daytime, and we're going to come in and we're going to check our ambulance. So as you can see, just on the stretcher, we have a lot of equipment, right? So we've got a cardiac monitor, and we take all this stuff in with us. We have a bag that's full of medication, and it's also full of equipment to help people with breathing, as well as IVs. And then we have another bag that also will help with breathing. So that's why we do like to take them in, or sometimes to go visit people with breathing problems. So all three of these things will come in with us on every call. So there are two of us that will work together on the ambulance, and we will respond to calls just like you saw the one through to earlier. A pager sound will go off, and it will say, oh, either there's a call or an emergency. They'll let us know which one it is, and we will go and we will respond. Can you guys think of any emergency situations? What would you think would be an emergency? Do we have any? Fire is an emergency, yeah. And how about maybe if somebody's having some trouble breathing. That's an emergency, so we would respond to those kind of calls. Things like car accidents, we would respond to those kind of calls. And the way the call would work is we get the page just like you heard. We would go to the call. We are told by the dispatchers where the call is. They're the ones that take the call information when someone calls it in. And we go to that call. We do what we need to do on the call to look after the person, and then we take them to the hospital. And at the hospital, we pass on all the information to the doctor and the nurses. Okay? So, does anybody have any questions so far? No? Okay. So, some of our equipment we have over here, normally we would like to have people be able to try some of it on, but we're trying to be a little more responsible with COVID right now, right? So we have one of these guys.
Want to put it on the chair?
We can put it on the chair, yeah. All right, and what we would do here is we would do someone's blood pressure. We can do the cardiac monitors. We'd put stickers on their chest, just like stickers that you would play with at home. And so they just stick on your skin the same way you put one on. And we can see the electrical activity in their heart, and it lets us know if there's anything abnormal going on. And we can also check someone's oxygen saturation, see how well the oxygen's getting into their body. So we use this on basically everyone. So that's thing number one that's going to come in. Thing number two. Whew. We're just going to stack it all up. So, bag number two. We got some stuff in here. So I'm going to show you, we have some different medications that we would use for people. Here's medication that would go in an IV. So lots of different things, okay? So that is bag number two that goes on the call. And then bag number three that Mike has over here. This is the oxygen. All right, so in here, we have our oxygen tank. So if somebody needs some help with their breathing, they're not getting enough oxygen while on their own, we use this to help them get more. And sometimes we will find somebody maybe has a little bit of trouble with getting their airway nice and clean. Maybe they were throwing up and they couldn't get it out by themselves, or maybe there's a little bit of bleeding if they were hurt. We actually have our own little vacuum that would suck everything out. So you can hear it's going to sound like a vacuum too. Okay, and you can hear. So we bring that along with us too to help with keeping people's airways nice and clear. All right, we have some other equipment that will help people for their breathing. I'm not going to pull it out right now so we can still keep it nice and clean. But basically, it's got a bag on it and we can squeeze and the air gets squeezed into the people's lungs. So we can help breathe for them if they aren't able to do it well on their own. So that's some of the more life-saving stuff that we would use. Next, we have our stretcher. And they're a little more fun than they used to be. Because before we used to have to lift them up and down all the time by ourselves. Now it's fancy. All right, so we are able to do all of this now electrically, which is very nice. Sometimes you can have maybe a lot of stuff that you're carrying and everything like that, and you have your patient on here. It's nice for us to be able to go, oh, quick, with the button, up it goes. It also loads into the ambulance. All fancy now too. Again, not just us before that had to do that. All right. All right, so you see how that locks in? in your car, we have lots of seatbelts that we put on to keep everybody safe as well, okay? So sometimes you'll look and go, that's a lot of seatbelts. We just like people to be safe on the stretcher, okay? So, right now we have a bit of an unusual time with COVID-19, right? Everybody's hearing lots of it, everybody's wearing masks, everybody's using probably more sanitizer than they ever have in their life. So we've got some fancy equipment that we also wear on all our patrols as well. So
we have to wear a little bit of extra stuff than what everyone has their masks on. So we're one of the people that we think might have the virus. So we have to keep ourselves safe. We don't want to take it home to our families. So we wear a lot of PPE. It's called personal protective equipment. So it might look a little scary if you ever see us coming in that we have all this on, but it's mainly to keep you safe and me safe. I don't want to take it home to my kids or my family, so we wear a lot of stuff. So I'm going to put it all on, Krista's going to help me, and then when we're at the end,
all right, so we're getting on our gloves. And it's summertime, so they don't go on as nice as they do in the wintertime. And they go on even worse when it's not the first pair on call. All right. So normally both partners would be doing this. Both partners would be helping each other to get their gowns on.
and we normally do this on the side of the road. So,
Or in the driveway.
but sometimes you see us getting ready. This is what we're doing. We're getting ready before we can go in the house.
So if you're looking at this and think, boy, this stuff looks warm, you are right. It is. Mike's not done yet.
This is one layer. So everyone wears these little surgical masks, which are great, but we need a little bit higher protection of masks. So we have these special masks we wear. Does everyone know Star Wars? You know Darth Vader?
Harder to breathe. I'm used to it now, so I can spend quite a long time in here. But as you can hear, my voice is quite distorted, and it's really hard for me to hear. And at this time, I'm still not even done.
So if you imagine, say you're at a car accident and we've got all our gear on, and there's other noises because other people have different jobs at a car accident, it's pretty hard to actually be able for patients to be able to hear us. And even with all the equipment and muffling, it's hard for us to sometimes hear the patients. All right.
The next thing I want to do, I don't want anything running my eyes, so I have special goggles on. Once I get those on, I put a second layer of gloves on, over top of the first layer. Takes a long time to do this, doesn't it? We practice this though, so we get
We're
pretty
quicker
quick at it.
than what we're doing here. So this is what we would be doing if we had concerns if someone screens positive for COVID. Okay? So we're really decked out when we have that on.
And the final thing I do, one more layer, not to take off the head. And this is what we go into, like this. Now if I'm doing a call up in Shelburne or in Grand Valley or somewhere far away, I gotta be in this all the way to the hospital. In the back of the ambulance, like this. It gets hot. Hot and sweaty. When you take it off, my t-shirt just soaking wet and sweat. So we're looking forward to winter.
Yeah. It's great for the mosquitoes though. That's the one thing you notice. You go out in a call in the middle of the country at 10 o'clock at night and you go, oh, I can't get bit. Oh, that's a bonus. So try to look for the bright side of being extra toasty warm sometimes. So sometimes sometimes it can be a little frustrating when we have to do things like wear our masks or use the sanitizers and things like that. But as you can see, even with us here too, it's not always comfortable, but we're just trying to do it to help keep everybody safe. Okay? Now, does anybody have any questions at all? I just gave a very brief overview of what we do, because I don't want to hold you up all day. Yes? So we actually have something called a stair chair. We have two of them. Mike will get it out. So this one here is used for going down the stairs. It's a no lift, sort of no lift chair. You do have to do a little bit of lifting with it, but overall it's a tracking mechanism so that it tracks down the stairs. It's just a little safer for us. We do have another stair chair as well. It looks a bit more like a wheelchair, and that's a full carry. So that's going upstairs, it's full carry going up. And we use that one especially too in tighter spaces, things like that. So in a situation where we're assuming that we're not going to be able to bring the stretcher to the patient and the patient is unwell enough that they need to be carried, we will often use the stair chair. Any other questions?
Where'd everyone go? I can't see anything here.
Fogging up. And he's not
This is
even
the one.
moving fast.
This is what we have to do. So who has glasses?
I think Mike
You
should
know?
have to do a running on the spot for 20 seconds and see how foggy he gets. Do other people agree?
Nope.
No, Mike doesn't agree. I tried, guys. I tried. He doesn't want to be sweaty the rest of the day for no reason. So, any other questions?
I got a question for everyone. So if you needed an ambulance or a fire truck or you have an emergency, how do you get that help? What's the magic number? Does everyone know it?
Yeah.
911. Right.
Perfect.
Has anyone ever called 911?
For anything? Has anyone ever called 911?
Yeah.
So does anyone know what happens when you call 911? So when you call 911, there's going to be a lady on the phone or a man, and they're going to say, "What's going on?" And you tell them your problem, and they're going to keep asking you questions and questions. The most important thing is to stay on that, talking to that person, because help is coming, but you got to keep talking to them, okay? So don't ever just say, "I need help," and hang up. That's a bad thing. Even though we probably can find where you are. We know where you are. We have ways to find you. The minute you call, we know where you are.
Yeah. The other thing that you guys can do that would be very helpful for an emergency as well is if you know your address. Okay? And you can just say the number and the road and the town. That's all you need to know. But if you do that, it does make it a little quicker. We can find people, like Mike said, with coming off the phone number or off your phone number when you call in. But with cell phones, it can sometimes be a little bit harder. So if you guys can memorize your address, like right here, we are on 325 Line in Orangeville. And from there, they'll keep asking you questions, but someone else will be getting ready to already get your call going. So even while you're still talking, the call's being put into progress. Does anyone else have any other questions? Something that you were curious about, maybe we didn't touch on?
I know.
Yeah? What's your question? No question? No? Does anybody else have a question at all? Maybe some of the adults at all, any questions? Yeah?
How do you manage to get people who are able to communicate in language?
Sorry, say again.
How do you manage to get people who are able to speak in language?
When we're doing the call and people are struggling with English. So, well, it definitely is a little harder now with all the masks and everything on. More often than not, there is somebody in the household that is there that does speak English. That is most common what happens. If not, a lot of it, what will happen is there wouldn't be time to be a translator or anything there. we're basically going to, through gestures or maybe one word at a time, try to pinpoint the issue that's going on. And we also have the physical findings, right? We can look at the person and go, how do they look? Okay? And if we go, boy, this person looks sick, you know, there's certain things that we will see right away, and we go, okay, that'll let us know what we need to do. And we will also be able to check all our vitals and things like that. But if someone has a language barrier, it's not a whole lot different than responding to someone who's unconscious, because those people can't tell us what's going on either. So we're treating what we're finding, but maybe not getting any input back to us. Pardon me?
I missed one question.
If we're on scene and there's a language barrier.
One of the best things we actually now have, Google Translate. So I can do an entire call with my phone. It works great. If all else fails, you mentioned you can't get, I can't call a dispatch service or dispatch, and there are services out there that I can get an interpreter really quick who are trained to work with. So that service is up. And if you call 911, they have all, like, if you can't speak English to a 911, they will get you the language that they can.
So it does take a little longer sometimes if we're at the call and we go, we need to go, because we can see something needs to be taken care of right away. Those kind of things just get put on the back burner, and at the hospital, the rest will be arranged. Yeah?
What's your favorite part of your job?
Oh boy. You know, I like meeting all sorts of new people. Like today's going to be a good day because I got to meet a whole lot of new people. And I like that it's something different all the time, and I like that we have some excitement, and I like being able to help people. How about you, Mike?
I think that every day is different. I don't have a same day ever. There's always something different going on.
Some people really like that, and some people in their lives really do not like that. We tend to like that, something different all the time. Yeah. Any other questions? No? No more questions? You guys really want to start hearing the storybooks, don't you? Yeah. It'll be great to learn how to become a paramedic. Okay, so we will pass the floor over.
Can we give them a round of applause for showing us their ambulance? Okay, I think I'll stand so that everybody can see. My name's Alyson. I'm one of the summer students at the library. And I have two stories to read you about paramedics and ambulances. So is everybody ready to hear some stories? Yeah? And can you hear me okay at this volume? Yeah? All right. So this one is called Frederick the Paramedic. This is what it looks like on the front. All right. So, good morning, partner. Welcome to your ambulance. Are you ready to have a great day helping people? First, we need to check out our ambulance. We have to make sure the lights, sirens, and radios work. Do you see the lights working? The sirens are loud and the radios are clear. And everybody saw the lights on the other ambulance before. Now we have to make sure we have all of our equipment so we can help people when they have an emergency. Can you open the cabinets and find the safety gloves, the stethoscope, the blood pressure cuff, the bandages, the ice pack, the splint, or the sling? Super, it's all there. I'll make sure it all goes into our first aid bag so we can bring it when we need it. And I think you saw some of those things in the ambulance, right? When they were showing you their bag. Uh-oh, I think there's an emergency. Dispatching Frederick the paramedic. Respond to the skateboard park for an injury. Okay, someone needs our help. Let's get to the skate park. We're leaving the fire station and they say, let's go. We're on the way to help somebody. Here we are. Look, I see a fire truck and a police car. They are here to help us. Let's go ask them what happened. Let's ask the police officer if the scene is safe for us.
Safety first. Hi, officer. What happened here? It seems like it was a simple accident, but the firefighters arrived on the scene first and have more to the story. This scene should be safe for us to go into and help out.
Can you just raise the book a little?
Oh, sure, sorry. Let's talk to the firefighters to figure out what happened. They help us in a lot more ways than putting out fires. Some of them are paramedics too. Hi guys, do you know what happened? The firefighter said that the skateboarder's name is Tommy and he is 12 years old. He was skateboarding in the half pipe when he fell off his skateboard. We should introduce ourselves first. Hi Tommy, I am Frederick the paramedic and this is my partner. We are here to help you. I heard that you were skateboarding without any safety gear, fell off your skateboard and hurt your arm. Can we take a look at it to see if we can help you? Tommy said that he would appreciate our help. I forgot my safety gear at home. I don't usually fall, so I didn't think it was a big deal not to have it today. Now that we've introduced ourselves and figured out what happened, we should take a look at his arm. Let's take a look at Tommy's arm. What do you see? To me, it looks like it's red and swollen. What do you think? Do you see anything else? It's hard for you to see. Oh, there's a cut on there too. Good job, partner. I missed that. First, we need to put on our gloves to protect us and Tommy. Now that we have our gloves on, we need to bandage Tommy's cut. What equipment do you think we need? What do you think you need to bandage up a cut? Does anybody have any ideas? What you would use? Do you have an idea? Pardon? A cast? That's a good idea. Let's see what they say. They'll need bandages, a splint, and an ice pack. Okay, let's put the bandage on his cut. That will help him feel better and keep it clean. Next, can you put the splint on his arm? That will limit his movement so it won't hurt as much. Now, can you put his arm in the sling? That will help with the pain too. Great, one last thing, the ice packs. Can you put those in the sling? That should help keep the swelling down. There's a lot of steps. Can you see okay? Okay, time to put Tommy on the stretcher and take him to the hospital. We need to take some vital signs. Why don't you take his blood pressure and check his pulse rate? Can you put the blood pressure cuff in the right place? Can you show me where you take a pulse? Perfect, heart rate and blood pressure. Here we are at the hospital. The doctors and nurses will want to hear what happened and what we did. Can you tell them about the accident and how we helped Tommy? So what did we learn today? You should always wear your safety gear because you never know when you might have an accident. Safety first. Great job today, partner. I can't wait to work with you again. I will see you the next time someone needs our help. And that's the end of this story. So they saved the day. That was Frederick the paramedic. And we'll read one more. Thank you for bringing it back to me. So this is another quick one called Ambulance in Action. I'm going to read this one now. There's some animals in this one, so it's super fun. Ambulance and its crew are at the ambulance station. Ambulance has lots of special equipment. Meerkat and ambulance driver are checking it all. They receive an emergency call. A car has crashed and somebody might be hurt. The controller tells them where the accident is. Meerkat and ambulance driver jump into ambulance and close the doors. They put on their seatbelts. Ambulance driver quickly checks the radio for the location and sets the GPS. Vroom, then he turns the ignition key. Ambulance's big engine roars into life. They are on their way. There is no time to lose. Ambulance speeds along the road. Oh no, look at that traffic jam. Ambulance driver turns on the siren and the warning lights. The cars, buses, and trucks hear ambulance's siren. They see the flashing lights. Quick, move out of the way. The ambulance is coming. Ambulance reaches the accident. The police are already there and have stopped the traffic. Meerkat grabs her first aid bag and leaps out of ambulance. The car driver has hurt his leg, and he thinks that it's broken. Meerkat cannot get to him because the car door won't open. Ambulance driver radios the controller, who tells him a fire truck is on its way. Ambulance driver gets the stretcher out of ambulance and lowers the ramp. He is getting everything ready while they wait for the fire truck. Meerkat stays with the car driver. The fire crew is coming. The fire crew uses a special cutting tool. Very carefully, they cut off the car door. Meerkat and ambulance driver lift the car driver onto the stretcher. Meerkat puts a dressing on the car driver's leg and straps it up. Ambulance's crew wheels the stretcher into the back of the ambulance. Meerkat positions the stretcher in place. Whir, clunk. Then she raises the ramp and closes ambulance's door. Meerkat sits in the back with the car driver. Meerkat tells him not to worry, he's going to be fine. Ambulance speeds off. Ambulance driver radios the hospital so that the staff there can get ready for their arrival. Ambulance reaches the hospital very quickly. The hospital staff is waiting. The car driver thanks ambulance's crew. Well done, ambulance, says Meerkat. You deserve a rest. Then her radio goes beep beep. Sorry, ambulance, it's another emergency. We must hurry. Now it says, let's look at the ambulance. So I think you saw all of these things. There's the stretcher and the patient bed, a first aid bag, there's the ramp, lots of lights, the wheels, the headlights, a powerful engine inside, the driver radio, GPS, and the flashing warning lights which are on the top of the ambulance. And some other emergency vehicles, we talked about some of these. There's a fire truck, there's a police car, an air ambulance, and a police motorcycle. And that's the end of this book. That's another fun one. So I think that brings us to the end of today's visit. So thank you again to the paramedics for hosting us here. I hope everybody learned something new and had some fun. Like Lauren said, if you haven't already signed up for the TD Summer Reading Club and you would like to, just let us know and we can give you some information. There's only 1 week left, so we want everybody to log all their books from the summer, and you'll have chances to win prizes. But that's all I have, so thank you so much for coming, and keep checking our social media for more activities for the rest of the summer. So thank you.
So we'll put the lights on for everybody if they want to see them.
Want to get any
You
pictures?
guys want to see the lights on? Okay.
Yeah, they plug into a truck.
So we do have a little baby, so I'm not going to put the sirens on because that would be very nice. Okay, I can put the siren on. Is that nice and loud? Yeah, we like it nice and loud so that people can hear us coming.
What?
Yeah, 'cause when we have the lights on, we're either maybe going to an emergency or we've been to the call and said, yep, still definitely is an emergency, and then we're driving with our lights on to the hospital. So we don't just drive with them for fun or just to say, hey everybody, we're working today. There's always a reason for them to be on.